Good evening, this is Brass Tacks. I'm Zaka Jacob. It's an unprecedented day. Noted Indian wrestling champions, Olympians Bajrang Punia, Sakshi, Malik, Vinesh Phogat and their colleagues sitting on a protest in the streets of Delhi. They have levelled grave charges against the Federation President Brijbhushan Singh, including sexual harassment. The man in the eye of the storm is digging his heels in. We're asking a very simple question, ladies and gentlemen. Are Olympians on the streets of Delhi in this biting cold? Do not they deserve better? Should the government not sack Brijbhushan? And most importantly, is this the way we are going to treat our Olympic champions while some politicians continue to run our federations and our associations for years on end? But first, the story.
जो टॉर्चर चल रहा है खिलाड़ियों के ऊपर, उस हिसाब से मुझे नहीं लगता कि
रेसलिंग में कुछ भी होने वाला आगे बढ़ने वाला।
हमारा रेसलिंग फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडिया के खिलाफ प्रोटेस्ट है और बस हम सारे जो है रेसलर्स इकट्ठे हुए हैं।
इतना मेंटल टॉर्चर हुई थी कि मैं मरने तक की स्टेज तक चली गई थी। मैं हर दिन खुदकुशी करने की सोच रही थी।
मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि सामने कोई है कि जो कह दे कि फेडरेशन ने कभी किसी खिलाड़ी का शोषण किया हो।
Joining me now is Olympic bronze medalist Sakshi Malik. Sakshi, बहुत-बहुत धन्यवाद हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए। ये बताइए, आप ये मतलब दुखद दिन है, बेहद दुखद दिन है कि हमारे ओलंपिक चैंपियंस दिल्ली के सड़कों पे बैठे हैं, जंतर मंतर पे बैठे हैं। आपके दो तीन मुद्दे क्या है जो फेडरेशन से आप चाहते हो? क्योंकि बृजभूषण जो फेडरेशन का प्रेसिडेंट है, उनका मानना ये है कि जो ट्रायल्स हैं इंटरनेशनल गेम्स के लिए, चाहे वो ओलंपिक्स हो, एशियन गेम्स हो, उसका ट्रायल्स बदला गया। इसके बदले में आप बैठे हैं और ये बेबुनियाद इल्जाम लगा रहे हैं आप लोग।
नहीं, ट्रायल्स का मेथड चेंज करने के एक छोटी सी चीज के लिए हमने यहाँ नहीं बैठे हैं। और रही बात, ऐसा क्या इतना चेंज कर दिया जो मुझे समझ नहीं आया, विनेश को समझ नहीं आया, बजरंग को नहीं आया। हमें इतने साल कुश्ती खेलते हो गया, तो ऐसा किसी कंट्री में नहीं है कि बैक टू बैक कंपटीशन हो रहे हैं, वजन घटाना पड़ रहा है, फिर अगला टूर्नामेंट खेल रहा है और वो नहीं खेले तो फिर उसे बैन कर दिया जा रहा है। तो ऐसा किसी भी कंट्री नहीं है। हम देश भर घूमे हैं, तो बस यही है। और भी बहुत सारे आरोप हैं जो हमने कॉन्फ्रेंस में भी बोला है कि स्पॉन्सरशिप नहीं जुड़ पाती है हमारे साथ, और स्पॉन्सरशिप जो जुड़ी थी एक टाटा मोटर्स, उसका पैसा अभी तक हमारे बच्चों के पास नहीं आया है। एक दो किश्तें दे के खत्म कर दिया है। कोई स्पॉन्सरशिप आएगी तो पहले फेडरेशन में जाएगी, फिर हमारे पास आएगी, जो कि बीच में ही रह जाती है और बीच में ही वो पैसा और सब खा लिया जाता है। तो ये आरोप है।
जो सबसे बड़ा आरोप, सबसे बड़ा इल्जाम जो आपने लगाया है बृजभूषण के खिलाफ और WFI के खिलाफ कि मोलेस्टेशन हुआ है, सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट हुआ है, शोषण की गई है, तो उन्होंने उनके प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में आके बोला कि ऐसे एक भी लड़की हो जो सामने आके बोले कि मेरे साथ बदतमीजी की गई, तो ही सेड ना ही वो रिजाइन करेंगे। उन्होंने ये भी बोल दिया कि मुझे फांसी पे लटका दो। तो ऐसा आरोपी सामने आएगी और बोलेगी कि मेरे साथ ये हुआ है।
देखो, हम अभी तो नाम नहीं लेंगे, लेकिन हम बिल्कुल हमारे PM सर के पास जाएंगे और अमित शाह सर जी वो हमें बुलाएंगे और हम उनके पास जाके अपना बताएंगे। समय आने पर हम नाम भी लेंगे और सब कुछ खुल के भी बताएंगे।
आपने ये भी बोला था कि जो टीम एशियन गेम्स के लिए गई थी, जो टीम ओलंपिक्स के लिए गई थी टोक्यो में हाल ही में, उनके साथ भी ऐसा हैरेसमेंट हुआ था। हमें बोलिए कि क्या हुआ, क्या एग्जैक्टली हुआ वहां पे?
जैसे टोक्यो ओलंपिक में विनेश ने बताया, और वो बहुत मेंटली टॉर्चर हुई है जिसकी वजह से उसके परफॉर्मेंस पे इफेक्ट हुआ है, और उसका एक सिंगलेट के लिए उसे बैन करने की 2 साल उसे बैन कर दिया गया था, उसे मारने की धमकी दी गई थी। तो एक खिलाड़ी इतना बड़े लेवल पे खेलने जा रहा है और उसे धमकियां आ रही हैं, तो ये एक बहुत बड़ा मतलब गलत बात है।
ये बृजभूषण जो है, उन्होंने उनके प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में ये आरोप भी लगाया कि आपके पीछे कोई षड्यंत्र है, कोई बड़ा उद्योगपति है जो आपको भड़का रहे हैं ये सब चीजें बोलने के लिए और बाहर आके ऐसे सड़क में बैठने के लिए। इसके ऊपर आपका प्रतिक्रिया क्या है?
नहीं, कोई हमारे साथ कोई नहीं है, हम किसी पार्टी के साथ नहीं जुड़े हुए, हम किसी पार्टी को सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहे, बस हम रेसलिंग को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, हमारे आने वाली जनरेशन को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं कि जो प्रॉब्लम हमने फेस की वो आगे आने वाली जनरेशन फेस ना करे और एक अच्छा तरीके से फेडरेशन चल पाए।
और फाइनली आपने अभी आने वाले जनरेशन के बारे में जिक्र की, तो आज सुबह से आप लोग बैठे हैं, आपको क्या सपोर्ट मिला है, क्या फोन कॉल्स आए हैं? यंग रेसलर्स जो हैं, जो आपको एक तरीके से आइडियलाइज करते हैं, उनके तरफ से कोई सपोर्ट मैसेजेस आए हैं सोशल मीडिया पे, फोन पे?
बिल्कुल, सभी बोल रहे कि आपने हमें पहले क्यों नहीं बताया, हमें भी साथ चलना था। लेकिन ये था कि हम यहाँ हंगामा उतारने नहीं आए थे, हम यहाँ सिर्फ अपनी बात रखने आए थे, और हमारा फेस है इसीलिए हम आए हैं उनके लिए। और बाकी अगर रही बात और रेसलर्स की, तो हर रेसलर परेशान है, हर स्टेट का रेसलर परेशान है, और सब लोग हमारे साथ हैं।
Alright, साक्षी मलिक, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए। बट वी ऑल्सो हैव एन एक्सक्लूसिव टिक टैक दैट्स कमिंग इन with Brijbhushan Singh. We're going to play that out right now here on Brass Tacks.
हरासमेंट किया जा रहा है खिलाड़ियों के साथ।
नहीं, ये नहीं बोला। उन्होंने बोला है, उन्होंने चीफ कोच के बारे में बोला है, हमारे बारे में बोला है, लेकिन ये नहीं बोला है कि उनके साथ हुआ।
जी, मतलब कि खिलाड़ियों के साथ हुआ है ऐसा,
और ये भी नहीं बताया है कि किसके साथ हुआ है, किस खिलाड़ी के साथ हुआ है। देखिए, कैंप में मैं बड़े ठंडे मन से कर रहा हूं कि कैंप में कम से कम 40 खिलाड़ी रहते हैं, और कभी कभी तो ऐसा हो जाता है कि 100 खिलाड़ी रहते हैं। अगर कैंप के अंदर कोई मिसबिहेव फेडरेशन के द्वारा होता है, मेरे द्वारा होता है, या कोच के द्वारा होता है, तो कैंप का इंचार्ज साई का एक डिप्टी डायरेक्टर होता है, बड़ा अधिकारी होता है, वही सारी व्यवस्था को संभालता है। क्या 10 साल के अंदर एक भी एप्लीकेशन सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट की कोच के बारे में या मेरे बारे में, क्योंकि वो जो साई का डिप्टी डायरेक्टर बैठता है वो मेरा आदमी नहीं है, वो भारत सरकार का आदमी है, और वो इसीलिए बैठता है, उसकी पूरी टीम होती है, वो इसीलिए बैठता है, इनके खाने पाने की व्यवस्था देखता है, इनकी सारी व्यवस्था को देखता है। तो क्या कोई एप्लीकेशन है?
आज भूषण जी उन्होंने ये बात बोली है कि वो नाम जो है वो साझा करेंगी।
आज तक कोई एप्लीकेशन है? आज तक जब भी हुआ हो तो सबसे पहले जो साई का अधिकारी बैठता है वहां पर, कम से कम उसको या खेल मंत्रालय को या साई को, मान लीजिए कोच के खिलाफ है तो वो मुझको मिलना चाहिए। तो क्या कोई एप्लीकेशन है? कोई एप्लीकेशन नहीं है।
भूषण जी, 2 चीजें हैं, एक अगर आरोप लगता है मिसमैनेजमेंट का, और एक ऐसा आरोप लगाया जाता है यौन शोषण का, बहुत गंभीर आरोप है भूषण जी ये, तो क्या आप अपने इस्तीफे से अपने पद से इस्तीफा देंगे?
अरे यार, कैसा पद है ये? कोई पद है? हम तो कुश्ती का काम कर रहे थे। जिस दिन खिलाड़ी चाहेंगे कि नेताजी ना काम करो, नेताजी चल देंगे अपना झोला बांध करके। क्या दिक्कत है? कोई हमारी जिद थोड़े है, ये हमारी जिद तो है, लेकिन हमें केवल ये 5-7 खिलाड़ियों को ही नहीं देखना है। इस देश के अंदर कम से कम 10,000 रेसलर हैं।
लेकिन सर, जो आज धरना दे रहे हैं वो ओलंपियंस हैं सर, वो देश के लिए पदक लेके आए हैं।
ओलंपियन हैं, लेकिन धरना भी तो इसीलिए दे रहे हैं कि ओलंपिक बीत जाने के बाद आज तक देश में उन्होंने एक भी कंपटीशन नहीं लड़ा है, एक भी कंपटीशन नहीं लड़ा है। और जो और खिलाड़ी हैं वो नेशनल लड़ते हैं, वजन तोड़ते हैं, तो उनको कैंप से हटा दिया जाए, इनको कैंप में रख दिया जाए। और ये देश के अंदर एक भी टूर्नामेंट नहीं लड़ेंगे। ट्रायल कराया जाए तो पहले उनकी ट्रायल करा दिया जाए, और उसके बाद में जब वो थक जाए 7 कुश्ती लड़के तो इनकी ट्रायल करा दिया जाए। मैं जो है केवल उनके लिए नहीं बैठा हूं, जब तक बैठा हूं देश के सारे खिलाड़ियों के लिए बैठा हूं। और हरियाणा के खिलाड़ियों पर मुझे गर्व है, हरियाणा की कुश्ती पर मुझे गर्व है। मैं हरियाणा के विरोध में नहीं बैठा हूं। ये एक परिवार का आंदोलन है, गिने चुने लोग हैं, इसमें कुछ झगड़ा फेडरेशन का भी है, कुछ और बातें हो सकती हैं।
आपने भूषण जी प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में ये जिक्र किया था कि आपने इसको पूरा एक साजिश बोला, कंस्पिरेसी बोला, और आपने ये भी बोला कि उसमें किसी बिजनेसमैन का हाथ है। कौन है वो बिजनेसमैन जिनके ऊपर आप आरोप लगा रहे हैं? आप ये मत कहिएगा आपके नाम नहीं लूंगा, क्योंकि आपका सीधा नाम लेके हमला किया जा रहा है।
नहीं, अभी हम कोई बिजनेसमैन खुल करके नहीं आया है, लेकिन साजिश है। ये साजिश के तहत हुआ है, क्योंकि एक सप्ताह पहले तक इसी कमरे में बजरंग पूनिया बैठते थे। एक सप्ताह पहले साक्षी मलिक यहाँ बैठी थी। 10-15 दिन पहले विनेश अपने पति के साथ बैठे थे। आज 10 दिन पहले, 7 दिन पहले कोई आरोप नहीं था, हमसे उनको कोई शिकायत नहीं थी। ये एक हफ्ते के अंदर उनको शिकायत पैदा हुई। तो ये बिना कॉन्स्पिरेसी के नहीं है, बिना उसके नहीं है। और जब मुझे मुतमईन हो जाऊंगा किसका हाथ है तो मीडिया के सामने जरूर बताऊंगा।
एक आखिरी सवाल मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगा।
All right, that was Brijbhushan Singh, the president of the WFI, saying that these are new allegations. So far, there's been no one who's come forth with these sexual harassment allegations. But the bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen, today, the Olympian wrestlers of our country are sitting on the streets of Delhi saying that that man, as well as others in the WFI, have sexually harassed, have harassed mentally, and are running the federation on their whims and fancies. Their priority are not the players. Rajkumar Sangwan is a former Arjuna awardee and boxer. Sudhanshu Mittal is former VP of the Indian Olympic Association. Sunita Godara, ex-Asian marathon champion. And we'll also be joined by Sanjay Singh, who's joint secretary of the WFI, the Wrestling Federation. Sunita Godara, let me start with you first, because, you don't see in any country Olympic medal winning athletes come and sit on the streets in protest saying that the Federation president is sexually harassing young wrestlers. The Federation president is running the Federation like his fief. The monies, the sponsorship that comes is not coming to us. It's going to him and his people. These are very, very serious, very, very grave charges.
The most important serious charge is sexual harassment, which is a criminal offense. So by now, IOA president, which is Lady P.T. Usha, and the sports ministry, they should have taken action against the WFI Federation, and they should, come out with their sexual harassment committee. Where is a sexual harassment committee? Whether IOA has the sexual harassment committee or not, or sports ministry. If they have the sexual harassment committee, they should file complaint to police. They should file FIR in favor of these athletes.
No, there are multiple layers. There is the Sports Authority of India. There is the Sports Ministry. There is, of course, like you said, the Commission for Women, the National Commission for Women. All of those bodies are also there. This is a criminal offence. Why is no one taking action against this gentleman? At least, at the very least, is that he should step down pending inquiry.
They should start inquiry, come and meet these athletes. They are not Tom, Dick and Harry. They are the top most sports stars of the country.
Yeah.
Medal winners of the country. Our Prime Minister, when they won the medals, he had lunch with them and gave so much of importance. And now, when they are in distress, nobody...
No, it's absolutely shocking to me. Rajkumar Sangwan is a former Arjuna awardee, is a former boxer. When you see these images, I can't think of anything like this having happened in India, or frankly, for that matter, in any country in the world. It shows how we treat our athletes. Our athletes are the pride of this nation. They surely deserve better than, being forced to sit in the biting cold in Delhi in Jantar Mantar protesting for, their basic rights. If a big corporate is giving money for the wrestling team, for individual wrestlers, then it's the job of the federation to make sure that they get the benefits of that. Not that, the WFI president and his cronies eat up half the money and the rest only go to the athletes. राजकुमार सांगवान जी बोलिए
देखिए इतना बड़ा मैटर है ये कि इंडिया का प्राइड, जो बच्चे ओलंपिक में मेडल जीत के आए हैं, ओलंपियन हैं, जिनके ऊपर फ्यूचर में भी हमें उम्मीदें हैं कि वो लोग आज जंतर मंतर पे, दिल्ली की गलियों में, सड़कों पे बैठे हैं इतनी ठंड के अंदर अपनी प्रैक्टिस को छोड़ के, तो ये बहुत बड़ा सीरियस मैटर है। मैंने पूरी वार्ताएं सुनी है आपकी, सुबह से मैं प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस काफी लोगों की देख रहा हूं, लेकिन ये कोई छोटा मैटर नहीं है। जो लोग 40 साल से 50 साल से फेडरेशन के अंदर बैठे हैं, वो अपनी गद्दी को छोड़ने के लिए तैयार नहीं है। ये क्या मैटर है? वो किस हिंदुस्तान के एक आम जन, जो साधारण नागरिक हैं, वो कैसे अपने बच्चों को, जब हमारी ओलंपिक मेडलिस्ट बच्चियां सेफ नहीं हैं, तो हिंदुस्तान के आम आदमी अपनी बच्चियों को कैसे स्पोर्ट्स में इन्वॉल्व करेंगे? ये बहुत बड़ा मैटर है, ये देखने का मैटर है।
Sudhanshu Mittal, as a former VP of the Indian Olympic Association, and I wanted to take the point that Sunita Godara made forward, shouldn't the IOA take cognizance of this? I mean, these are very, very big names, Vinesh Phogat, Sakshi Malik, and very grave charges. Sexual harassment is a criminal offence today. Shouldn't the IOA, send its representatives, talk to these wrestlers, find out what exactly happened, at least announce an inquiry?
See, let's not mix two things together.
Sudhanshu ji, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, first and foremost, sexual harassment and maladministration are two different things completely, and mixing them together is not the right thing to do. Now, sexual harassment in itself needs to be investigated to the T, because you cannot permit any kind of such thing in sports.
Yes.
See, more so, this is a contact sport. And in a contact sport, any complaint of sexual harassment must be taken very seriously. So the issue is, has a specific complaint been made to anybody? There is no inquiry which is required for that. If there is sexual harassment and if there is a complaint, it is a criminal offense. A complaint, the person who has undergone sexual harassment should approach the police, a case will be registered and action will be taken. So as far as sexual harassment is concerned, the right course of action is a police complaint specifying the incident. Let's not generalize. The moment we generalize things, then these becomes tool for a different purpose. So sexual harassment must be dealt with very, very seriously.
No, but Sudhanshu ji, can I just ask a counter question? No. Yes, I spoke to Sakshi. You heard what she said, that there will be people who will come forth and they will file a formal complaint as well with the police.
That is what I'm saying.
But no, what I'm asking is, at least shouldn't the IOA, the Sports Ministry, Sports Authority of India, at least come forth and say that we are ordering an inquiry, we are going to meet Sakshi Malik and Vinesh and the others, find out what exactly happened, and pending inquiry, this gentleman should step aside, because as long as he's there, you can never have an impartial inquiry.
You have to understand one thing, that unless there is knowledge of an incident, what can anybody do? You are seeing a protest. Now, because there is a protest on the street, naturally, everybody will now become active and find out what is happening.
Yes.
But before that, if there is no information which has been given to anybody, nobody can do anything in the matter. So, if it's an IOA which is seized of the matter, certainly IOA will do its utmost.
So Sunita Godara wanted to respond, and then I'll come back to the second part, which is the maladministration part. But let Sunita Godara respond first. Yeah, Sunita.
Yeah. Only talking will not serve the purpose. They should.
Yes, go ahead. I can hear you. Yes, Sunita ji.
Yeah. Only talking will not serve the purpose. If now Sudhanshu Mittal ji is in Indian Olympic Association, so they should take action. It is IOA duty. It's Sports Ministry duty to take action. Where is your sexual harassment committee? It's a serious allegation is very serious. It's a criminal offense. You also know it. So when you are saying that it is a very serious matter, then just bring out your sexual harassment committee and do whatever is possible to give some kind of satisfaction to this.
I think it's especially after all the Me Too allegations came out. I think it's very, very clear that even in corporate companies there has to be a committee, anti-sexual harassment committee.
And it is
it's
a rule.
there in every entity, whether it is a small company, big company. Surely even in the IOA there is a anti-sexual harassment committee. Where are the people who are heading that committee? This matter has become public knowledge. The moment it has become public knowledge, it is incumbent on that committee to come forth and speak to these people and find out what exactly happened.
Yes.
You know, that is as much true. Like I said, tomorrow, God forbid, if there were to be a complaint here, even if a complaint is not there, but it's come into the knowledge that such a thing has happened with someone, then it's the job of the committee head to approach that person and the committee members to hear that person out and you know, take appropriate action. Today we've not seen any action. The Olympians are
Sports
sitting
Ministry-
on the street.
The committee
Sudhanshuji.
will only trivialize it. Why not a criminal offense?
Of course,
I am more-
criminal
I mean,
offence
I
will
am
be
more
once a police
concerned.
complaint is filed. Yes, of course.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. Please allow me. You see, the person who has been subjected to sexual harassment must immediately file a police complaint. And there are specific ways as to how the police will deal with
Committee
the
can
matter.
do that.
So instead of
IOA can do that.
wasting time
Okay,
and looking
okay.
at committees I would never. I mean, forget the committees. Sexual harassment must
Why?
be dealt with seriousness, and because it's a criminal offence.
Don't forget the committee.
trivialize
It's
it
committee's
or to
duty.
delay any action
Okay.
by looking at committees.
I
would
want to
not
come
do
to the
justice
second
the
part. I
athlete.
want to come to the second part, which the players
Yeah,
are
let's
saying
come down
the
to the second
maladministration. Now, this
Yeah.
gentleman, Mr. Brijbhushan, has been running this association for the last 10 years. And Sudhanshuji, you know that there are multiple politicians who've been running, you know, multiple sports federations from football to wrestling to boxing for 10, 20, 30 years, right? Is it time for this gentleman, and particularly when he himself is being directly accused of corruption as well as, of course, the sexual harassment allegations, should he not step down pending inquiry?
Zaka, first, as far as the Brijbhushan Singh is concerned, in the last 10 years, I've been a witness to one thing at least, that wrestling has really come of the age. The kind of work which has gone in wrestling by a federation is something which is commendable. The second part of this is that there are allegations of financial irregularities.
Yes.
Now, financial irregularities cannot be a general allegation. Something specific has to happen in this as to what exactly is being said about a financial mismanagement or embezzlement.
No,
If
so
there is
one example that
embezzlement, yes.
Sakshi
So
gave,
what is the
Sakshi Malik gave, she said
Yeah.
Tata Motors is sponsoring the wrestling team. The bulk of that money has not reached, when you're sponsoring the team, you're sponsoring the players. The bulk of the money, she says, has not reached the players. It's some
I would say,
people
no.
sitting in the federation who are siphoning off that money.
No, when somebody sponsors a team, it sponsors a team for the purpose of its training, for the purpose of its travel, for the purpose of all the activities which are required for the team to perform. That purpose is not just doling out money to the athletes. No, that's not the right. That's
Okay.
why I said, please
No,
go
but
deeper into
quality
it.
of
What is
kits,
it that the Tata
quality
Motors
of
has sponsored?
kits. Quality
they
of kits is
sponsored
again,
players,
I mean,
yes,
if
should
there
go
is
to the
corporate
players.
sponsorship, why should they have, third-rate quality kits?
No, as I said, ask these depending on what has been the sponsorship. I have seen where Coco, I brought up Coco with sheer hard work.
Okay.
It is internationalized today. And I know how we have been able to gather resources. That's why I'm saying,
Okay.
what are the terms of the sponsorship which Tata Motors has given? First look at that and then really hold somebody guilty or non-guilty.
Okay, so
I
Sunita
think it
Godara,
is because an allegation has been made, it should certainly be looked at.
Yeah, this has been a constant problem with most of our sports federations. Is it time now? In fact, it became so grave in the BCCI, they had to go all the way to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court, in fact, appointed a committee of administrators to run the BCCI for a brief period of time.
But what has happened?
Has it got
It
to
has
a
come back
point?
to the same
Fair
thing
enough.
now.
Yeah, fair enough.
It has come back
You can
because-
say that the
because
conclusions are different.
allegations-
No, but what I'm
but
asking
the
is,
allegations are not
it's a simple
substantial.
question. What I'm
Correct.
asking is, Sunita Godara, should we have, like we have for our politicians in parliament and elsewhere, you have fixed terms. If you've done 5 years plus 5 years, or if you've done 2 terms,
We have it.
then somebody
We have
else
it,
should
Dhaka, we
be,
have it.
you
Not
should
more than
not
2
be allowed
terms.
to stand for a third election.
See-
In Brijbhushan's case, I believe this is his 3rd term as WFI president.
No, there is
See,
a
whatever,
there is a upper limit.
Federation,
As to how much can a
let me answer. See, federation keeping politician or keeping them for 2-3 terms, that they have to make rules and then they have to follow the rules. But now, at present, whatever allegations are, these sports stars are putting, inquiry has to be there. Why IOA only talking? Where is the, just now Mr. Sudhanshu Misal said, now forget about the committee. Why? Don't forget about the committee. Sexual harassment committee's duty is to go to these athletes and find out why these sports stars, they are not lying. Because I'm into sports for last 40 years and this has been happening since then, you know. Very
Mrs.
few
Godhara,
athletes are, there, have guts to come out with, they raise
Okay.
all these issues. So
Mr.
these
Godhara,
hats off to these Shernis and Sher, those who have brought out this problem which is happening for last 40-50 years.
No,
Don't forget that.
I think we
And
have to commend,
those
Sudhanshu
who
ji,
raise
we have to
voice,
commend
they have to
for
pay the
these
price.
Olympians to come out on the streets and say that, look, this is what we are going through. It takes a great degree of courage.
No,
Yes,
as I
guts.
said, I am not taking the matter non-seriously.
And
I am taking
why
it very
will they come
seriously.
like this?
That is why I am saying,
कहते हैं ना, जब
let
सिर
us
से पानी
follow,
उतर
let us
जाता है,
follow the
तब
right course.
सड़कों पे आए हैं.
A mere protestation is not the end of the story. You have to have a logical conclusion to the protest.
Okay.
And the logical
Who will see the
conclusion is
logic?
first, when it is
Who will
sexual
see,
harassment,
Sudhanshu Mittal
there
ji,
must
who
be a
will
police
see
action.
the logic? You are there
Don't
sitting on
trivialize
the chair,
it.
you know.
Mrs.
as-
Godhara, you are trying to trivialize it by not doing the right thing. First,
No,
there
no,
must be a criminal
please,
complaint
please
with the
listen
police.
to
Secondly,
these
the
sports
specific
stars
allegation
and
of
come out
financial
with a
mismanagement
solution.
must be
Please,
looked into.
Sudhanshu ji, I'm
Instead
with
of
you.
doing that,
I'm
what
with
you are
you.
trying to do is
Bring
you are
your
trying to be populist.
sexual harassment
You're not
committee
looking at
and
solutions.
find out.
No,
Because they are
I
not lying.
agree. There are
Sudhanshu
two
ji,
things.
I'm
One
with you.
one second.
I'm
If I
not
may,
against
if I may,
But
there are
follow the
two
rules.
things.
Follow
One
the rules when criminal
one is a
offense,
formal police
sexual
complaint.
harassment allegations are
Ma'am,
there. Just
one second,
follow the
ma'am,
rules.
please. One is a formal police complaint, and yes, if there are victims of sexual harassment at the hands of the WFI president or the coaches or whoever it is, that person has to come. And today, you can even file those complaints without the victim's name and details being revealed. That police complaint has to be filed. That's number one.
That is
Number
the right
two,
course.
parallelly, I don't see why the IOA committee, even the WFI itself will have an anti-sexual harassment committee. Why the heads of that committees can't come forth and speak to these wrestlers and find
they
out
should.
what exactly
Everybody
happened.
should come forward. That's
That
okay.
is
That's
absolutely
not me.
the need of the
No,
hour. Anyway, let me
there
go
is no
to
debate on that.
Yeah, let me
Zaka,
go to
what is
Rajkumar.
important
Let me
is
go to
what is an
Rajkumar
effective
Sangwan.
stand.
सांगवान जी,
I am
ये
looking
क्या
at what is an
ये
effective
जो
stand.
फिनोमेना काफी सारे स्पोर्ट्स एसोसिएशन में हमने देखा है कि पॉलिटिशियंस आते हैं, कभी 10 साल, कभी 15 साल, कभी 20 साल बैठ जाते हैं. Should we have for all our sports administration, sports bodies, कि आप एक टर्म अगर आपने जीत लिया तो एक टर्म आप कर सकते हो, उसके बाद या तो गैप होना चाहिए या 2 टर्म से ज्यादा आप खड़े नहीं हो सकते हैं. इस टाइप का कोई मैकेनिज्म इंस्टीट्यूट करना चाहिए, नहीं तो ये एक फैमिली एंटरप्राइज बन जाता है ना.
जी जी बिल्कुल. हम 2010 में जब स्पोर्ट्स कोड आया था अजय माकन जी के टाइम पे, तब से हम पीछे लगे हुए हैं कि 30% स्पोर्ट्समैन की इन्वॉल्वमेंट होनी चाहिए. आज इन लोगों ने एक चीज और बना ली है कि फेडरेशन का नाम चेंज करते हैं और वो कंटिन्यूअसली 20 साल 30 साल तक राज करते हैं, क्योंकि वो हर 10 साल के बाद फेडरेशन का नाम चेंज करके और उसी फेडरेशन के अंदर वो छाए रहते हैं और ना वो कहीं से स्पॉन्सरशिप लेते हैं. मुझे नहीं पता कि क्यों नहीं वो स्पॉन्सरशिप लेते, जो मुद्दा आप उठा रहे थे
जी.
और किस तरह से किस हिसाब से हमारा स्पोर्ट्स, हमारे देश की जो आज ओलंपिक में एक उम्मीदें हैं, एक आशा जगी है कि हम भारतीय भी ओलंपिक गोल्ड और सिल्वर ब्रॉन्ज हम जीत सकते हैं. तो अगर इसी मुहिम में मैं तो सीधा कहूंगा कि प्रधानमंत्री जी को इस हस्तक्षेप करना चाहिए और उनको हस्तक्षेप करके और हस्तक्षेप करना चाहिए और ये फेडरेशन का जो सिस्टम है इसके अंदर स्पोर्ट्समैन को एक इन्वॉल्व करके एक कमेटी बनाई जाए, जैसे इस समय आईओए की कमेटी बनी है और उसी से ये सब चीज क्लियर हो सकती है.
I'll give Sudhanshu ji the final word. Even in the BCCI, a big name like Saurav Ganguly, Sudhanshu ji, had to give up after a couple of terms. Now there is a new BCCI president. That's how it should be for all federations.
Zaka, that's what I am explaining to you. Now the Supreme Court has intervened and there is a sports code which has been implemented on the IOA. So there is a fixed tenure. It is not an open-ended tenure. So you have a fixed tenure of 2 tenure terms only. So all these things are in place.
In Brujbhushan's case, I believe this is his third term.
Streamlined.
This is his third term, consecutively 3 terms.
That is the last term.
The WFI.
that is the last term. He cannot subsequently have another term. Because
Okay, anyway.
the provisions are such that now he cannot contest.
I
So
will
today,
wrap up by saying this. I think it's very, very clear. The wrestlers, I spoke to Sakshi Malik, we've been speaking to others who are there sitting in Jantar Mantar and protesting. They are impleading to the authorities, the sports ministry, DG Sai, and of course all the other authorities, the IOA and others, who need to be taking cognizance of these very, very grave allegations, and not just the graveness of the allegations, but more than that, it's also the people who are doing that. The fact that, these folks, Olympians, had to sit on the streets of Delhi to ask for their fair share, as it were, or even the allegations of harassment and misappropriation of funds that they have alleged. At least let there be a basic investigation into it. And as that investigation proceeds, Brij Bhushan Singh has to step down, even if it is temporarily, because I'm convinced you cannot have an independent investigation if he continues to be the president of the Federation. All right. I'm now going to move on to the second story, and this is a political story. The BRS chief, K. Chandrasekhar Rao, today launched his national campaign of his party from Khammam. He was flanked by Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann, Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan. But for a party which got a mere 1.25% vote share in 2019 Lok Sabha election and does not have any presence outside Telangana, how realistic are KCR's ambitions of wanting to become a principal pole in the opposition ranks? Can the TRS possibly take on the BJP, which is 10 times more vote share? It's present in every state in the country, and of course it has a larger-than-life leader in Narendra Modi. Or is this merely a fishing exercise, if you will, to try and see who are the opposition parties who are outside these two main alliances who can be brought on board a potential third front?
Jai Bharat! Jai BRS! Bolo Swatantra Bharat ki! Jai Bharat!
जो सरकार अपने दिन बताने लगे, समझ लो ये 400 दिन बाद सरकार रुकने वाली नहीं है।
पहली बार इस देश के अंदर एक उम्मीद की किरण जागने लगी है। इस देश के अंदर कुछ मुख्यमंत्री एक साथ आ रहे हैं।
All right, we'll be joined on the broadcast this evening. Anila Singh is BJP spokesperson. Bachchu Srinivas is BRS leader. Aishwarya Mahadev, the Congress, will be there with us. And Karan Verma is also joining us. Aishwarya Mahadev, let me start with you first. Basically, whether it is a KCR, whether it is a Mamata Banerjee, they are all trying to occupy what they believe is a space that's been left in a vacuum with the decline of the Congress. The BRS is trying to step into that space. The transformation from Telangana Rashtra Samiti to Bharat Rashtra Samiti is an attempt by a regional party to try and launch itself as a pan-Indian party, to try and be a principal pole in the opposition, because that space has been vacated by the Congress party.
Good evening, Zaka. I think first and foremost that you cannot take away from any political party's aspirations to try and be pan-India. I think a lot of them have tried. Some of them may have succeeded, some of them really have not. But I think to say that they are trying to take up the space of the Congress is something that I do not completely agree with, or rather do not agree with at all. Because Zaka, the fact of the matter today and reality in our country is you have an incumbent government that does have numbers, that cobbles up governments, whether by actual electoral victories or by horse trading, as you've seen in Karnataka and Maharashtra and so on and so forth. And today for the opposition to come out, and if you look at the dialogues that they had on stage, all of them want to obviously be a strong opposition to take on the BJP. And I believe none of that is anywhere possible without the Congress in its presence, because you cannot negate the fact that they are a pan-India party, whether in government or not. They're on strong footing in a lot of places.
No, but Aishwarya, then why is Congress not on that rally stage? Neither KCR seems to want to have any association with the Congress, and vice versa. When Bharat Jodo concludes later this month, I believe KCR's party has not been invited for that ceremony. So clearly, if you want to have opposition unity and take on the BJP, and I believe that's the only way you can defeat the BJP, then Congress should have been present today in that stage in Khammam. And similarly, there should be KCR or his representative in Srinagar when Mr. Gandhi concludes his Bharat Jodo Yatra.
You know, Zaka, the one thing is that this is not KCR's first outing to try and be a national party, and you saw that he tried it previously as well.
Yes.
And the second The thing is, with all the opposition parties in this country, if you look at the different rounds of dialogues that we've had, there are some people that come in for certain of the talks, some of them that do not, even in parliament. You see that a lot of opposition parties do reserve the right or the choice of coming in and whatnot. And I believe that if they all have a singular-minded focus about obviously changing the government, the incumbent government, we all have to work together, and I believe that is something
See,
that is
Aishwarya, the lead for that, and clearly the Congress is the biggest opposition party. The lead for that has to be taken by the Congress. But let me go across to Karan Verma, and after that to Anila Singh ji, who's just joining us. Karan, you know, one of the issues, and a lot of analysts are talking about this, is KCR's tenure as CM, and this is going to be his end of his second term. Later this year, there will be elections in Telangana. There have been controversial decisions. There's been criticism about the expensive renovation of the Yadadri temple, the making of a new secretariat, a bulletproof official residence which was built at, you know, tens of hundreds of crores. Many regional, like with many regional outfits, the BRS is also being accused of being turned into a family fiefdom of sorts. Is the attempt today by Mr. KCR to project this national image and this national rally, in effect, may or may not work in 2024, but in effect he's trying to insulate himself at least in the Telangana election, because it gives the image that here is not just a chief minister of a state, but somebody who is who's on a national perch, if you will.
Oh, absolutely. I think you hit the nail on its head. There are lots of issues in Telangana as we speak. Ballooning deficit. I mean, it's 3 lakh crores plus in debt. It has ballooned from 1.6 lakh crores to 3 lakh crores in a matter of 4 years. So that is a concern as well. And many of the schemes, the center has given a lot of fund to Telangana, 2 lakh crores to be precise, and the debt continues to grow. Besides that, Zaka, let's understand this. Their entire focus is on removing the government. Today, the people of this country can look through this sort of opportunism. What do you have to offer to the people? 400 days to go before the election. Has KCR ever come up with an economic agenda? Policy? How is he going to deal with Pakistan? For God's sake, stop undermining the intelligence of the voter. Today, the voter is smart enough to ask you the question, what do you have to offer? If Mr. Narendra Modi is offering us an entire clan of beneficiaries, which are in excess of 35 crore beneficiaries today, what do you have to offer? KCR today made a comment that Make in India is a joke. I mean, that shows how much he is not in touch with the reality. Today,
okay. Bachu Srinivas of the BRS is also joining us. I'll also be going across to Anila ji. Bachu Srinivas ji, in 2018, Mr. KCR promoted the similar idea of a federal front. He met with Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik. He met with Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. Incidentally, Nitish Kumar did not turn up for today's rally in Khammam. He's also met with, over the last 4 or 5 years, the Chief Ministers of Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Bengal, Bihar, Odisha. The point is, if it did not succeed in 2018-19, why should we believe this will succeed in 2024? The idea of a federal front did not find resonance in the last general election. What has changed in the last 5 years for it to find resonance in the coming general election?
See, our main intention is to stop the Bharatiya Janata Party not to come into the power because of the successful, miserable failures of the central government regularly, and where the central government is all the powers are centralizing, and it is against working the federalism and hiking all the prices, no foreign policy, no economic policy, failure in GDP, unemployment, selling of all the government companies and nationalized, and like this, the continuous failure of the central government. And
which is fine. You're well within your right as an opposition party to expose what you think is the failings of this government. But can I ask one follow-up question before I go to Anila ji? In the 2019 election, there were 3 parties, primarily 3 or 4 major parties that were there in today's rally in Khammam. The BRS in the 2019 election, which was a TRS then, had 1.25% vote share. Aam Aadmi Party had 0.44% vote share. CPIM had 1.75% vote share, and CPI had less than that. if you add up all of these vote shares of 2019 election of all the parties who are present today in Khammam, it is less than 5%. Less than 5% vote share of all the vote shares of all the parties present today were added today, right? BJP had 37% on its own in 2019 election. How can 5% compete with 37%?
It is no way concerned with the mathematical equation today. And we, the people who started our political party in 2001 with only 12 members, and we got the separate statehood with 2 MPs. That was the history of Telangana Rashtra Samiti, where it is transformed as to Bharat Rashtra Samiti. And I would like to remember all the BJP leaders who are talking today's success of the Bharat Rashtra Samiti. In 1980, the BJP number is only 2. How much time it has taken to become 302? It is 40 years around. And we today, and it has penetrated throughout the nation like anything today. Everybody is talking about BRS today. It's a great success.
No, so let me ask Anila ji, one of the problems for the opposition is that all of these regional leaders, Mamata Banerjee, Nitish Kumar, Arvind Kejriwal, now of course Mr. KCR, are all eyeing a national role. The fact still remains, and then of course there is Rahul Gandhi, who with his Bharat Jodo Yatra, and for whatever it's worth, Congress party is still today the biggest opposition party. It had 19% vote share in the last election. This competing ambitions, Modi banam kaun, is going to be a question that is going to be asked by the people of India. The BJP is very clear. It is Prime Minister's face, right? Whereas on the other side, is it Mamata Banerjee? Is it Nitish Kumar? Is it Arvind Kejriwal? Is it Mr. KCR? Or is it Rahul Gandhi?
Absolutely. My ram to everyone, and you are absolutely correct, Zaka. It is Modi versus all, and each and every party head in each and every state, they have aspiration to become Prime Minister of this great country. And the thing is, when we talk about this Khammam rally, I mean, Aam Aadmi Party participated, Samajwadi Party participated, Left participated, and BRS. And if we talk about the total seats in the area where these political parties are active, they are 137. And how many seats these political parties have in today's date? 17. And they are aspiring that they are going to come together. They are going to make Teesra Morcha, third front, and they are going to challenge Bharatiya Janata Party or the NDA government in the center. The thing is, who is going to be the Prime Minister? Who is going to be the Prime Minister's face? If you're going to ask, Aam Aadmi Party is going to say, yes, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, though he has got 0 member of parliament in today's date. If we talk about Samajwadi Party, they are going to say, oh, who can be better than Akhilesh Yadav ji? Because way to Delhi is from Uttar Pradesh, from Lucknow only, and he is the biggest face, and Uttar Pradesh has got 8 seats of Lok Sabha. And the same if we talk about left or BRS, I mean, what they're talking about. Earlier also we have seen such experiments happening from 1989. Like 6 times such fronts have come up, but absolutely failed. So we very well know that this is just a political gimmick. This is just the thing they want to come into circulation, political circulation, to get some media limelight on them. The reality is they are nothing in front of Narendra Modi ji. Narendra Modi ji has given such strong, powerful leadership to this country, and people of this country, they have huge trust and confidence in him.
Okay, let me ask Aishwarya Mahadev. The problem within the opposition is not just who is going to be the face to take on Modi. That is one part of the problem. But like I said, the basic unity, index of opposition unity, there was no Congress representative today in the KCR rally. End of this month, when Mr. Rahul Gandhi will have his concluding sort of ceremony, if you will, in Srinagar, the KCR does not find an invite there. Neither has Arvind Kejriwal found an invite. Even through the length of his journey on Bharat Jodo, even your allies, senior leaders like Tejashwi Yadav in Bihar or Uddhav Thackeray in Maharashtra, Sharad Pawar, Hemant Soren, they have not shown up at the Bharat Jodo. They have sent their representatives instead. Even people like Akhilesh Yadav, who was there today, Deve Gowda, H.D. Kumaraswamy, I believe, was there today in Khammam. Mayawati, Aam Aadmi Party, none of them have turned up at Bharat Jodo Yatra. So where is the index of opposition unity?
Zaka, before I answer that, in response to Anila, I think hubris has been the downfall of civilizations, and nothing is permanent, especially that is something that a party that had 2 MPs is something that they should realize. And Zaka, the singular response to what you said is this. If you believe that the country today is worse off than what it was, and if opposition parties believe that there is the need for a change, whether it is jobs, whether it's the economic indices, and then several other things in our country, there is a need for opposition parties to come together, rise beyond their self-serving needs. Yes, a lot of leaders may or may not have come, but we will give them the choice for it. We are not the people that are going to sit and dictate terms to our allies the way that you've seen, whether it has happened in Bihar or Kashmir with the BJP. And today, when 2024 comes around, you cannot take away from the fact that the Congress is not only the fulcrum, it is a critical part of allowing...
It absolutely is a critical part, but the lead for that has to come from the Congress. And if the Congress feels Mamata Banerjee and Arvind Kejriwal and KCR are not going to help its cause, then I'm not sure it's taking the lead to be the principal pole of the opposition. And vice versa for these smaller parties as well. Why should they be seen as taking the lead when they believe that the Congress is a declining force? And the record of the Congress has not been particularly, cherishable over the last many years, whether it's assembly elections or Lok Sabha elections. But I'll give Karan the final word. The idea of this third front or fourth front, federal front, whatever you want to call it, from 89 we are seeing. Even if they manage to come to power, VP Singh, Chandrasekhar, then Deve Gowda, I.K. Gujral, they barely last a couple of years. None of them have completed a full term. So this idea of a third front, fourth front, A, is a 20-year-old idea. India has moved on from that. And B, do you see anything on ground to revive such an idea that might be appealing to the people of India, the electorate of India?
Zaka, the electorate of India has come of age. They are far more evolved than what they were in the 80s and 90s. And today they are empowered enough to stand up and ask questions. What is your economic policy going to be? How are you going to handle the problem with Pakistan? Do these people who cobble up alliances, do they even have a plan in place? Mr. Narendra Modi has a plan. When he talks about his foreign policy, when he talks about the deliverables, people of the country know, good, bad, ugly, whatever, he has a plan. He has a pan-India presence. These sort of opportunists, no matter what kind of alliance they cobble up, all said and done, all they have is their ambition and the pathological hatred for Prime Minister Modi. Not a vision, not a roadmap for the country.
I agree with the first part of what Karan said. I think if the opposition needs to make a dent, they need to offer an alternative agenda, an alternative vision, an alternative program. And it can't just be that, oh, Modi is doing this bad and Modi is doing that bad. He may or may not be. But what are you offering instead? I think that's what the people of India will be more focused on. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, right on the other side, will Pakistan lose its major non-NATO ally status? There's been a significant development in the US House of Representatives, and this is coming on the back of a lot of back and forth between Pakistan and the United States. Right on the other side, quick break.